Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, we're going to talk about a project that in my opinion is relatively undervalued, and this project is called DForce or the DF token, right? Again, as always guys, I highly recommend you guys to do your own research on any of the projects that we cover in our channel. And for this project, I recommend you guys to go to their website dforce.network in order to do your own research about this project, right? So what is DForce? DForce is basically an integrated and interoperable open finance and monetary protocol matrix covering asset trading and lending, right? So it's basically a protocol which is an interoperable protocol that aims to provide monetary services via the assets that they offer through their protocol, trading on their protocol, as well as by lending your tokens on their protocol, right? So it's kind of like a place where you can perform multiple different decentralized finance related activities in one kind of platform, right? So if you want to access their app, you can click on this link on the left. We'll kind of review their app in a few seconds now. But if you see, the total assets that are present on the DForce platform is about $111 million. Total accumulated borrow is basically $61.3 million. Total trading volume on their platform is $9.2 million, right? So again, pretty decent numbers. Protocols build a protocol matrix that max out composability and fungibility over a variety of protocols, right? So again, you can use DForce protocol in order to create matrices or protocol matrices that can kind of max out on the composability and fungibility over a variety of protocols. So any asset that you deposit here, you can kind of basically expect to get the maximum value out of it, right? Assets, synthetic stablecoin assets, over collateralized stablecoin, gold token or gold X. Again, these are some of the assets that they kind of offer on their platform. They do offer several synthetic stablecoin assets. You can also get over collateralized stablecoin assets similar to DAI or even gold tokens, right? In the form of gold X tokens, which represents the gold itself. So that's one thing that you can access from their protocol. Save the best yield markets to earn risk-adjusted return on your assets. So if you have some cryptocurrencies that you want to save and earn passive kind of like income on the side, you can deposit on DForce and use their best yield markets in order to earn. Obviously, there's risk involved in any kind of like investment. So if you want to take a small risk and in order to get a decent return, you can use their save feature in order to do that, right? So if you take the lend option, it says the most secure, flexible and robust lending market with multi-currency support. So again, similar to other lending platforms like Aave or Compound Finance, you can lend your tokens and earn a higher interest or even kind of like earn additional tokens by using the lend feature, right? And they also support multiple different currencies. We'll see that in a few seconds. So trade, DEX aggregator that secure the best liquidity with the best quotes. So if you want to trade your crypto assets, let's say for example, you find a higher rate on one cryptocurrency that you don't really own and you want to swap, you can kind of use their decentralized exchange, which is built on the DForce platform itself, in order to kind of like do trading in order to buy the cryptocurrency that has the higher yield for you to kind of invest in, right? Or lend or even passively earn by saving the cryptocurrency on your DForce network, right? So that's also possible because they have a decentralized aggregator that is that has they claim to be having the best of liquidity on the crypto space, but again, it's something that you guys can compare yourself side by side with Uniswap or SushiSwap's DEX platforms and see if they offer some of the best liquidity pools or if they offer some of the best pricing, right? farm, participate in D4's liquidity mining to earn the DF rewards. So if you want to earn their native cryptocurrency, which is basically DF tokens, you can earn by participating in liquidity mining on their platform, right? So again, there are several different ways by which you can put your assets to work. So again, just to clarify, D4s is kind of like a platform that aims to have all of these features in one place, despite these kind of features being available on multiple different platforms. D4s wants to be one of the go-to places for accessing several different DeFi applications or DeFi functionalities within their one platform, right? So that's basically what D4s is, and you can kind of click on the documents button in order to access some of their documents in order to learn more about the project. Security audits, building a secure, reliable and resilient open finance network. So again, they are trying to make sure that their platform is highly secure, because if you have to perform multiple different activities in one platform, you're kind of like relying heavily on that one platform, and if that one platform gets exploited, you may end up losing a lot of money if you have not diversified well enough, right? So in order to prevent that, they have kind of like performed several audits from several different reliable and reliable kind of platforms in order to make their platform very resilient, right? So if you see Trail of Bits, Consensus Diligence, Certic Foundation, QuantStamp, Certora, Peak Shield, Slow Mist and SecBit are some of the platforms where they have performed their audit. And if you see Certic, Peak Shield, Slow Mist, QuantStamp as well as Consensus Diligence are some of the most popular audit firms, cryptocurrency audit firms, or smart contract audit firms that are currently available on the market, and they have pretty much covered most of the high quality audit firms. Again, not to say that the other ones are not high quality, but it seems as though that they're kind of using several tier 1 audit firms in order to kind of like audit their platform. And you can also access their audit reports here, as well as the bug bounty kind of here as well, right? So if you see who are the investors of this project, so these D4's network are kind of like invested via several venture capitalists, and these are CMB International, Multicoin Capital and Huobi Capital, right? Again, not a lot of players compared to several other projects that we covered in the past, but you can clearly see that Huobi Capital is basically one of the, it's like Binance Research of the Huobi global ecosystem. So obviously this project will has a listing on Huobi global exchange. If it isn't already, I think it's going to be coming in the pipeline pretty soon, right? Multicoin Capital is another kind of like a relatively popular like a venture capital investor for several other cryptocurrency projects. CMB International seems to be one of the new names that I'm hearing, but I do believe that they probably might have had other crypto investments as well, right? So again, some decent players to kind of like look into. DeFi integration. So they have recently kind of like been partnered with Yearn Finance or DFI.money, which is a clone of Yearn Finance, Band Protocol, DBank, DeFi Pulse, CoinGecko, Flamingo Finance, S Finance, and Unisave. So they are currently like kind of partnered with or integrated with these kind of platforms. So they do have a lot of traction within people from this community, so it's a very good thing, right? So DAO governance. So one of the features of D4s is basically using their native DF token as a governance kind of like a token that allows for users to who have the DF token to participate in governance proposals, right? Just like any other any other utility token of any smart contract platform. So D4's token empowers the governance voting process. DF holders can make proposals and vote to collectively decide on proposed protocol changes across the entire D4's networks. Again, very straightforward concept. If you hold DF tokens, you have a say on the future of the D4's network, right? You can click on the portal in order to kind of like see some of the proposals they have, and you can also access this forum page to see what are the potential new proposals that are going to be planning to be in the voting stage, and you can also participate if you do hold DF tokens, right? Again, I think this is the end of the website. If you see, they have frequently asked questions, information about developers, audit reports, as well as white paper, which are all very valuable information for you to do your own research. You can also access their social media, as well as if you want to ask some specific questions, I'm pretty sure you can use their contact links, email links, which they have on their website in order to ask more specific information, or you can even participate on their forums or participate on their social media in order to follow their progress and what they're doing, right? So again, a lot of information about this project. It's kind of like wants to be a go-to project for all things DeFi, and it's not a very unique concept, but it's still something to look into nonetheless, right? So if you click on their app, if you want to access their page, you obviously need to connect MetaMask. You need to kind of connect your MetaMask to the Ethereum network in order to access this one, right? So if you see, they have several different tokens that are available. For wrapped Bitcoin, there's no supply APY as of now, but it will probably be updated in the future. For Ethereum, you have 0.01% supply APY, not really that great. If you see USDT 0.73, again very low for crypto standards. BUSD has a slightly decent APY, 2.22%, but it's still compared to other platforms, it's nothing, right? HBTC literally has nothing. DF has nothing. Gold X, which is basically the gold tokenized version of gold that's available on DForce, you can earn 17.03% APY. So again, it seems like you can earn more interest on your gold tokens rather than your other cryptocurrency tokens, which is very interesting. So Uni token again 0, USX 0, Euro 0, XBTC 0, XETH 0. So kind of 0 on all the major coins except for gold. So that is kind of disappointing. But again, I think the rates will definitely fluctuate on a daily basis, and you can kind of again, if you have to, I believe that there are better options when it comes to like investing in yield farming or even trying to earn some passive income. There are like really good quality projects not only on the Ethereum blockchain but also on the Binance Smart Chain blockchain in order to get some really good APYs on all of these cryptocurrencies. So if you kind of invest your cryptocurrency and supply and provide lending support for some of the cryptocurrencies on DForce, you will definitely get really disappointing rates, right? You can also sort them based on main cryptos as well as SINs. These are some of the options that is available, right? If you click the top left corner, you can kind of see the layout that shows the markets. We are on the lend page. You can also click at SINs and kind of trade SINs, and you can basically access their trade.dforce.network. Again, you would obviously have to connect your MetaMask, but you can kind of get an overview of what it is when it comes to trading on their platform. You can also earn, which is another kind of important feature that they have, where you can see some of the, you can also switch to the Binance Smart Chain network and see what are some of the rates that they have for USDX, USDT, USDC. Again, pretty poor rates for stable coins, which is a disappointment indeed, right? So if you see the farms, you can farm by lending and providing liquidity. Again, you can access that information here. I don't really think you should store a large volume of crypto here because you have a lot of other options which can offer you some really good rates. So by earning these small insignificant rates, you're basically losing out on a lot of potential, right? But if you go to their farms or liquidity, you can kind of see that by providing liquidity on their platform, you'll be able to earn some decent APYs. For DF ETH pool, you can earn 73.93%. Again, that's kind of like what you'd expect from a DeFi APY, but it seems like DForce has really horrendous APYs for many of its pools. You can also access tutorials, documents, and tools for liquidation as well as for price identification. So you pretty much have a lot of, it's kind of like a pancake swap like layout, but you have more options for DeFi instead of like gamification as like in pancake swap, right? So that's something that you guys need to pay attention to. But again, if you are planning to interact with this project, then I think you will be in for a disappointment, because if you see USDC in several centralized exchanges or several centralized platforms, you can earn more than 10% APY, or at least 8%, more than 8% APY. But on decentralized exchange or decentralized platforms, you can only get a 0.32% APY. That's kind of like doesn't make sense. So, but regardless, I wouldn't really recommend you to be an active participant on their website or be an active participant on their DApp. You can definitely hold the DF tokens, but not participate on their website or on their platform itself, right? So because you do have much better options than these. So let's go to the CoinGecko page for the D-Force token. So this token is currently ranked 425th by market cap on CoinGecko, and it's currently trading at 20.5 cents per token. And it had a recent dip of about 3.8% in the past 24 hours. So if you see the market cap, it's still less than $100 million in market cap. Again, I'm not going to call this project as something that has a groundbreaking technology or some kind of groundbreaking innovation, but it is still for a platform that has a sort of this DeFi aggregator kind of like appearance to it, which aims to integrate platforms like compound finance, lending, borrowing, staking, earning, and everything in one single place. I think this project can definitely grow higher, and it can definitely make a really good yield for people as well, right? So I think with regards to that, I think the market cap of less than $60 million in market cap is definitely something which is, in my opinion, kind of undervalued, right? If you take the max supply, you have 994 million tokens in max supply, whereas 279 million tokens are already in circulation out of the max supply, right? Again, this is a really huge supply when it comes to max supply, and if you see the ratio between circulating supply to the max supply, it's clearly like it's not even 50%. Okay, so that means basically you will be able to see some long-term or kind of decent while of price slumping because of the circulating supply max supply difference. And since this token has a huge max supply, I think there's going to be a lot of dilution in the short term at least. So please bear that in mind before you invest in this token, right? If you take the market cap to the total value locked ratio, which is a ratio that obviously divides the market cap by the total value locked, you can clearly see that the token is almost fairly valued. It's slightly undervalued, but it seems to say that it's kind of close to its fair market value, which is about 20.5 cents per token. Although the mathematics kind of like in theory says that the token is not really that much undervalued, I would probably say that this token is kind of like in a way undervalued because it hasn't really had a lot of pump, a significant pump in my opinion during this bull run, and since the bull run is not really fully over, I think this token can pump even harder and reach some really good milestones. But immediately when that happens, that would mean that this token is kind of like overpriced, and that would mean that you have to exit the position soon, right, if you're a short-term investor. But if you're looking for the long run, then I think this token can kind of like be very volatile during times, and that's something that you have to kind of deal with, right? So let's go to the charts for this token. So if you clearly see the charts for the whole year is basically something which shows a high volatile pattern. So initially this token was available since Jan of 2020. The price feed for this token was available since Jan 2020, and it was trading at 49 cents before obviously crashing down immediately after its release on either CoinMarketCap or Uniswap, I believe, and then it was trading at 17 cents or even at an all-time lows of about 10 cents per token, and then it immediately rallied back up mid to late of June to an all-time highs at that time of about 50 cents per token before coming crashing back down, touching the 23 cent mark, and then making new all-time highs of about $1 per token, right? And then it crashed very sharply, as we would expect, kind of hovering around 9 cent range, making some really sharp peaks and then declining rapidly as well. And then now it's kind of like it seems to be moving a little bit more sideways. It's not an all-time low for a kind of like dollar comparison, but I do believe that this token can go up, right? Especially retesting the $1 mark and then making slightly more gains, and kind of like retracing back immediately, right? So based on that, I would say this token is a really good short-term hold because of its fluctuations. But I wouldn't personally hold this token for long term, but it is kind of like something interesting that you guys can look into, right? If you want to invest in this token for long term. So if you take the Bitcoin comparative on the other hand, you can clearly see that the Bitcoin comparative had been kind of like very volatile. But if you see early last year, this token was worth 1300 satoshis, and then it went down, made an all-time highs of about 5,600 satoshis before crashing back down again and making an official all-time high of about 8,300 satoshis, and then crashing back to an all-time low. And now it's kind of like at its all-time low, right, where it's kind of only trading at 600 satoshis per token. Again, I think this is a really good buy opportunity for people who want to invest in this token, obviously after doing your own research, using Bitcoin, right? If you have some spare Bitcoin satoshis or even like actual Bitcoins, full hold coins that you are looking to invest in some really risky and volatile assets, which can be like growing exponentially, at least in the short term, then this project would be a really good project to invest in with your spare satoshis, right? Again, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, right? But if you do your own research and you're comfortable with this project, then for Bitcoin comparative, this is a really good price point. Let's look at the Ether comparative on the other hand. If you can clearly see, the Ether comparative is also at its all-time lows because the token price was initially worth 287,000 GUI before crashing back down all the way till it's, I think it's kind of like 76,000 GUI per token and making an all-time highs as of now of about 240,000 GUI before crashing back down, going up and down, and kind of like after I believe the crash of October 2020, the token price hasn't had some really serious gains. And if you see the Ether comparative is only going lower, currently trading at 7,600 GUI per token, right? I think for Bitcoin and Ether comparative, this is probably the best time to buy this token because these coins, compared to these coins, it seems like a D-Force is at its all-time lows. But when it comes to dollar comparative, again, you can wait a bit so that it can kind of go back to its lows of about, kind of like 15 cents range, which would be a really good buy opportunity, but it could be moving sideways, which is what I feel is going to happen for the dollar comparative. But for the Bitcoin comparative and Ether comparative, then this token is really good buy opportunity, right? If you take the exchanges where it's available, you can obviously get it from Huobi Global, which is a partner of this project. You can get it with USDT. You can also get it from Binance as a trading pair with Ethereum and BUSD, which are some of the most popular trading pairs on Binance. And you can also get it from Gate.io, Uniswap, as well as kind of like other tier 3 exchanges or tier 4 exchanges. I wouldn't really buy it from anywhere else if it's already available on Binance, right? So again, you have two options to buy it from Binance, so that's going to be something that you guys can look into, right? So what's my final verdict on this token? Again, as I said, I think this token is kind of like undervalued, and I believe that this token can pump really hard in the short term, despite the selling pressure from the large number of tokens that this token has in its max supply, despite the kind of like the fact that the yield farming tokens will kind of be dumped on the market immediately after a whale kind of like tries to get as much tokens as they can, because the price tanking would happen immediately after the whale sells it, right? So despite those kind of risks, this token can still be a really good investment for the short term. But for the long term, I'm not planning to invest in this token for the long term, because I do think that there's better projects that can offer much more higher APYs when it comes to supply APY during lending rather than D4. So I would probably go with those kind of projects rather than this project. But for short term, it's definitely a good investment, and I'm going to use some spare GOA to invest in this token, right, on Binance. So again, that's just my verdict, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before you invest any of your money on this token, right? Again, remember, guys, you guys are not regular investors. You guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please click the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.